into a family of 15 brothers and sisters. And for years the next door neighbours didn't know whether M was a good Catholic or a sloppy Protestant. Tonight, looking at her Home Bargains perfumed Madame Glamour M-bound body, it is hard to imagine she was once an ugly child. For the first 6 months, the midnight didn't know which end to put the talcum on. Marie Little said, Christ knows where she stuck the dummy. Rumour has it that Doreen's pram was the only one in the neighbourhood with shutters. Before she started Birtley Church School, she'd tried to get in Birtley St. Joseph's Catholic School, but she failed her first confession. Father Dumlow said, asked her to say 3 Hail Marys, and Doreen said, I only know 2. When she started Birtley Church School, she came home the first day and said it was a good idea to call her Doreen. When her mum asked why, she said, because that's what everybody else calls me. Doreen then went to Chester Modern, and she proudly tells everybody she went there the same time as Sir Bobby Robson, between 8:30 and 8:45. Before she left Chester Modern, she had a good place in the class, next to the hot water pipes. Doreen was a keen sportswoman, especially at throwing the javelin, when she broke a record. Luckily, it was only Tommy Gilfillan she made top the best. The title of that record was See Mad Tom in Bedlam. When she finally left, she had solved the problem that for years had baffled scientists, scholars and mathematicians, whether to stick or twist on 16s. Doreen left school without any qualifications, but is quick to tell anyone, in this day of high technology, we were the first family in the Ballymow with cordless pajamas. Her first job was in Fatfield Abattoir, where she had to load the livestock off the lorries, but was sacked after dropping a bullock. At the interview next door at British Oxygen, she was asked if she knew anything about gas regulations. Doreen said, I think it's number 7 for Yorkshire pudding. According to Bill Elliott, the footballer, she had 28 jobs, working in fish shop, pit canteen, nurse, and that was in the first fortnight. She was always attracted to the opposite sex, and to men too, for that matter. And it was whilst attending the retired Jewish Age Miners Constipation League dinner dance, she met Brian. Even at that very first meeting, it was obvious they had something in common. They were both pissed. Doreen took Brian to meet the Elliott dynasty at their large detached house in Birtley. Well, it wasn't really detached, it was just coming away from the rest. Brian remembers the curtains were always drawn. But Doreen says, aye, but the bloody window frames were real. Doreen's father was, of course, the legendary Jack Elliott, but let's not forget her mother, Em, was a leading politician in her own community. Doreen inherited her fiery nature from both. This was borne out when Doreen met Margaret Thatcher at Durham University. Doreen turned on Thatcher and said, Who the hell do you think you are, Doc Curtin? I don't want that to go any further. Brian had a reputation of being a snappy dresser in his teens, a Beau Brummel in fact. And especially as a tribute to friends and family, he is wearing some of that gear tonight. Doreen remembers the special day they were wed. Her 3 bridesmaids were Brian's sisters, who were all called after stones: Ruby, Sapphire and Flint. Doreen Elliott Henderson, this is your life.